we are, as everybody recognizes, in a grey zone of warfare already. We could be at war certainly within 2 years. We're seeing the way that Putin is locked into a pattern of behavior and into an economy, a war economy, which he will not be able to de-escalate. So, from that point of view, the fact that they have not done anything to bolster defence, while all the money is being going into welfare dependency,
Yes.
is actually I think, one of the worst betrayals that this country has faced for quite a long time.
Let's look at Iran from another direction. And welcome to the programme, Sir Antony Beevor, the leading author and historian. Antony, welcome to the programme. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here. Can I just ask you, first of all, your assessment of the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and his and the government's handling of the Iran crisis so far?
Well, I think it's much more the question of the handling of the defence situation in this country, which is the big problem. I mean, the first duty of any government is the defence of the realm, and this is where they have completely fallen down. And certainly not stood up to, in fact, any of their own assurances that they were going to do something about improving the situation of the armed forces. So we are in a pathetic position as we stand. And it's not entirely surprising, therefore, that they should be involved in a U-turn already at this particular point.
Right.
I mean, I think the real trouble is that whatever you may think about Trump's declaration, or rather the commencement of the war, which was unwise to put it mildly, once the war has started, then things do change, and maybe they have got to realize that they should now be supporting it. So there is definitely very much a large degree of pressure which is being exerted on them at the moment.
Yes, I mean, things certainly did change. We saw that over the weekend, and it was also a part of Keir Starmer's argument, not just that his view, the government's view, was that this was not founded well in international law, but also there was no plan, and it would be wrong to support an American attack, an American-driven war that didn't have a plan. Listening to you there, Antony, you seem to have some sympathy for that there's no clear plan behind this war.
No, there isn't. And unfortunately, there wasn't much behind the Iraq war in some ways, apart from, say, getting rid of Saddam Hussein. I mean, there are certain similarities which are deeply unsettling in that particular way. I mean, one of the real problems is that Trump simply has not just a short attention span, but he doesn't seem to think things through. So where are we going to be in a few days' time? I mean, already we're starting to see the spread of the war to a degree which people had not imagined at the start.
Oh,
so one can understand the Prime Minister's reluctance, but at the same time, I'm afraid once things have started, you then do have to start making a bit of a commitment.
Right. I mean, you, in your most recent piece, you seem to take the view that you're not convinced of the president's capacity for reasonable, rational judgment at all.
No, I think that more and more people are getting concerned about to what degree Trump is actually suffering from dementia. And I certainly think there is a very distinct possibility of that, along with quite a few other people.
Well, I mean, you do hear that as part of the broader conversation. Obviously, I'm no psychiatrist or medical practitioner in this, but it's interesting to hear your view. You may be writing a book about this before too very long. What is your assessment of the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, as would you call him an anti-war war leader? But how will his performance be judged, do you think, by history?
I think it will be judged pretty harshly, in fact. But as I say, above all, the refusal and the rejection, really, of any great effort to start resupplying the army and the armed forces with the ammunition, the vital elements they need. I mean, we are, as everybody recognizes, in a grey zone of warfare already. We could be at war certainly within 2 years. We're seeing the way that Putin is locked into a pattern of behavior and into an economy, a war economy, which he will not be able to de-escalate. So, from that point of view, the fact that they have not done anything to bolster defence, while all the money has been going into welfare dependency,
Yes.
is actually I think, one of the worst betrayals that this country has faced for quite a long time.
Interesting. I mean, strong words. When the story is written, when this plays out, we're in the middle of it now, but when it plays out, there'll have to be some account taken of the Prime Minister, surrounded by members on his own side, MPs on his own side, where it would be difficult to cross them for the sake of higher defence spending and the sacrifices that would mean. And that is one of the factors squeezing the PM. That's part of this story, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is. He's, I'm afraid, making purely political reasons for reasons of survival. He knows perfectly well that the left wing of the Labour Party is going to be sort of completely unforgiving in that way. So here we are with a Prime Minister, a war leadership, which is completely tied down and incapable of making the right decisions at one of the most critical moments in our history.
And how would a Prime Minister who was handling that problem in a way that history would smile upon, how would that Prime Minister deal with that?
Well, I mean, the Prime Minister should show leadership in this particular way and realise the seriousness of the situation. If he doesn't realise the seriousness of the situation, he simply shouldn't be Prime Minister.
Yeah, we also talk about the public too. I mean, that is a big part of the background picture, isn't it, too, Anthony? I mean, do you think the public is remotely ready to embrace all that would go with a big uplift in defence spending, which would certainly mean sacrifices in one way or another in other areas of public spending?
Well, of course it is, but that is because defence has been sacrificed for years now. And we're now actually paying the price within possibly disastrous consequences. So from that point of view, it is time to wake up and realize that they have got to take some very, very harsh measures. Yes, it is going to be difficult. And let's face it, at this particular stage, the world economy is certainly going to dip in a big way. So yes, things will be very tough indeed, but they've got to take tough decisions.
Yeah, I wonder if you see anyone more capable perhaps than Keir Starmer might be to take on this. I mean, you're setting it, and clearly it would be something of a national mission. Can you see anyone better able to take it on?
Well, I think there are one or two extremely good people. I mean, within sort of the Ministry of Defence and Al Khans and others, who are well aware of the danger of the situation and of the seriousness. But they are certainly not in a position, and this is about the worst moment possible to start having leadership challenges within the ruling party.
All right, fascinating to talk to you. So thank you so much. That's Sir Antony Beevor, the writer historian.